All right, guys. So I know I said I was going to finish that podcast and come back to you, to make some content, but I got a little impatient. I couldn't wait. I'm super fucking excited. It's been a long time because I've just had so much shit going on. And you guys remember the last time that I was in between houses that I didn't really make a lot of content. I wasn't really fucking around on YouTube, even on the personal side, just to consume anything. But that's changing. So a couple weeks back, or I can't even remember exactly when. I feel like it's longer than it actually has been. But I remember seeing the podcast, because of course I'm following all the guys at Four Piston, and I saw them posting, that they were on the podcast. So of course Downstar is a name that I think that everybody's in the scene knows, right? I even, once upon a time, I think I watched one of his origin videos or something, like either he did his own video about himself or somebody did it about him. I remember watching it thinking, that's great. That's kind of like one of the models that I want to, modeling myself after, kind of give myself hope for, being an entrepreneur and trying to, start from scratch stuff that's easy to attain and then build your business from there. That's what I'm trying to do now with stock engine parts, and hopefully eventually I can get to the point where I can be a plug for aftermarket stuff. Because like I've said a million times, engine building isn't how I want to make my money. I want to make my money off parts, and I want to be able to build engines. So anyway, I go back and I'm watching this, and I fanboy, like Luke, out of everybody in the industry, is the guy that I fucking fanboy over the hardest. I absolutely love this dude. So I was really excited to be able to pick this guy's brain without being able to be the one to pick the guy's brain. So listening to him on the podcast secondhand is great. Now, I used to listen to a bunch of fight podcasts, but eventually I kind of trickled down to where I only watch Joe Rogan. Just because most of the other podcasts I watch, they just couldn't retain me very long. I would watch half and then drop off. So I'm finally getting to the time to listen to this podcast, and I went to Downstar's page, and I'm surprised to see that the viewership. Okay, so two things surprised me. One, the viewership is a lot lower than I would expect, and two, the names of the people there. There's a lot of names. There's a lot of guys that I admit that I don't know, but there's also a big handful of guys that I do know. And while I think that what Christian does over Honda Vlogs is great because it keeps you in the loop, which is why I like Instagram. It keeps you in the loop of what's going on currently with people that you like without necessarily have to investing too much time in it. You can literally just scroll through and listen, or scroll through and watch, which is why Christian is great because you can kind of get like updates on, tidbits on what's going on in the community without having to go through and watch the channels. Now, though, of course, there are still several people that I reserve time to watch, and every month I like to go through and binge watch the content to catch up. Like I do watch Boosted Boys now. I follow that regularly, so it's binge worthy when I get to it. Of course, Humble and their videos, and I really think that's probably it, to be honest, right now. But going through Downstar's lineup of how many people are there, I think this is a kind of a great way to take a deeper look at some of the people that are extra interesting to me, like people that are kind of big on the radar, like to take a good time and a strong look at, like really get into this person's mindset, how they started, where they came from, where they're planning on going. Anyway, the reason why I'm making this video now is because I've realized while watching this, when I started looking at the guy's playlist, or his video uploads for the podcast, that there's like a twofold thing I could talk about. I could talk about Downstar's podcast itself separately, and then I can talk about, my takeaway from Luke, which is a lot. Quick look right here. So I took notes. I'm taking notes on that because there's just so much information there, and some things that have been clarified that I've had questions that just been, I don't want to try and be in this guy's DMs asking things, and when I'm face to face with him, like, I always seem like I'm catching him between something and he's being polite. So I don't want to try and hold this guy down and talk to him. But now he's in a setting where these questions are being answered, so I'm just eating it up. I'll get more back onto that in the next video or whatnot. But yeah, Downstar is definitely something I'm going to be, I went ahead and subscribed to, and I'm going to be listening to at work, because, I'm a big thing on listening to podcasts while working or at work, or, doing my own personal thing. So that's definitely something I'm going to start binging there. And I'd recommend you guys do the same thing too. It's great content, especially if you're a fan of podcasts, if you're already listening to podcasts and you're a Honda guy. This is definitely something you want to invest yourself in. This is a lot of big names in the industry, whether you love them or hate them, are on this podcast. So I'd definitely say take the time to listen. If you're a guy like me, a mechanic who likes to be busy with your hands, and you have the time to listen, then that's great. or for whatever. If you're on a long road trip, this is now something I have to listen to other than the JRE, because as much as I watch JRE, not all of them, not all of them are great for me. Oh, and also, I'm sorry a little bit for shaky cam. My tripod is not here. It's in multiple pieces. One piece is at my shop, and another piece is, I think, in the car. Yeah, so definitely give Downstar a check out. Look at the videos he's got there. Look at the people on his podcast, and I'll get back to you guys in a little bit about the four piston Luke. Also, I saw that Monday got a podcast as well, so I'm very much looking forward to watching Mondays after, or listening to later on today, because I got shit I need to do. So yeah, all right. Thanks guys for watching, and see y'all soon. Peace.